Hello everyone, it's Amy and welcome back for week 103 of Build Your Stash and Craft. This week we are going to make these beautiful angels. The first place that I saw this, well the only place that I saw it, was on YouTube, and it was Teresa Creations, and that is capital T for Teresa Creations with an S on the end, right here on YouTube. And she made these. This one is a 12-inch angel. The pieces of mesh are cut 12 inches long, and you use a dozen of them, 12 of them. So this takes one full roll of the deco mesh to make this, with just a little bit left over. But I'm going to set her aside because I just love angels, and I think angels are for all of the time of year, not just Christmas time. And so we're going to make some angels. I think they're wonderful to give to people if they've just had a baby or if they've had a loss. And I just think that these are just beautiful. So this one is a 6-inch angel. So she's smaller, but she is made with 6-inch pieces of the deco mesh and only 8 of them instead of 12. But this is what we're going to make today. And I'm going to make one in pink. So all you're going to do is you're going to get your deco mesh, and it's easier when you go to cut it coming off the top of the roll like this. So when you set it down, it kind of stays a little better than if you cut it coming off the bottom of the roll and you have a really hard time keeping it down. So I'm just going to hold this down here. I've already got 6 of them cut, so I'm just going to cut 2 more in the way I usually do it. Whoops. Just throw everything around. I just cut a 12-inch piece, and this one has larger squares in it, so I can kind of follow the line of where I'm cutting. On the white ones, the little squares are much tinier, and so I just cut a straight line up, and it went wherever it went. So it's not exactly in a line. But then I just hold it back down here, say there's the 6-inch mark right there, and then just cut that one. And so you'll need to cut 8 of these, and they wind up being, because this is 6 inches wide, and we're cutting them 6 inches long. So there's 6 by 6, and you just cut them like that, and so you wind up with a 6 by 6 piece. All right, then what you're going to do is you're just going to take them, and you're just going to grab them on each corner and give them a pull, and then just reach to the middle and pinch it together. And you're going to do that with all of them. Just give it a pull, go to the middle, and then stack them on top of each other. Don't just put them anywhere. You want them lined right up on top of each other because we have to split them when we're done. So just grab both corners. So there's 3 of them, and I don't pay any attention to which way they're kind of facing. I just grab them, pull them, pinch them, and then just set it on top of the next one. Whether it's facing this way or this way, it really doesn't matter. They don't need to be, any kind of perfection. You'll have a lot of these little like hairs sticking out, and we'll just take care of those when we're all done. So just grab it and pull and stack it right on top. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 7. And then we just need 1 more. And like I said, see, these 2 are kind of curling like this way, and those are curling every which way. That's totally fine. You can line them up so that when you grab them, this one is curling that way. You can make sure that everything lines up exactly, but you don't have to. I prefer to just grab and put them on there and then just see what she turns out like in the end. Now that you've got it, you're going to hold on to the center and then wrap one of your chenille stems around, fold it in half, and you want it to come off the top. So if you want to look at this and say, oh, I think I like this part for the wings or this part for the wings, you can do that, or just comes out how it comes out whichever winds up being the top is the top, and whatever the bottom is the bottom. That's the way I do it. And then I'm just going to wrap these around. I wrapped them really, really tight right here. And again, you want them to come off the top. And then just wrap them around loosely. The rest of it doesn't matter. Then what you're going to do is you're going to take 4 of them. You're going to take half. So if you were doing the one with the 12 inches and the 12 pieces, you'd take 6. But we're going to take 1, 2, 3, 4. And hold that one down. Come to the other side. And this is why you want them stacked on top of each other so that you can actually separate them. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. And we're just going to hold these down and put a chenille stem right around her waist. Get another one of those. And I just think these turn out so beautiful. Now this pink does not seem as full as the white did, and they are a little bit different. So if you make one and you think, oh, it's not full enough for me, you can take them apart because it's just a chenille stem, and put a few more in. So if you think they're too puffy, take a few out. So I'm just going to leave about an inch tail at what I'm going to call the back of my angel. Now, do I really want that to be the back? It doesn't really matter. Okay, so I'm going to leave about an inch tail out here and twist these around a couple of times nice and tight. And then leave that inch stick out the back and take the rest of the long one and just kind of give her a pretty little waistband with that until you run out of stem. So I'm just kind of putting it at the top, you know, just making it a little bit wider. I think I can go around one more time. And there we go. And then just twist what you have left to finish it off. Okay, so now we've got her wings and her waist and her dress. Now I'm going to kind of separate these out, starting towards the center. And like I said, this is not as full as the white one was. The white one I didn't actually have to separate like this. The white one was as puffy as it is, all on its own. But I may have pinched it too tight. I may have, you know, put this on a little tighter. There we go. So now she has her dress and she has her wings. And what we're going to do now is we're going to put on her head. Now this is where her head's going to go. And so what I do is I just fold it in half and then fold it down again and just kind of leave it a little bit fat because we're going to put this inside of our little Christmas bulb. And actually, when I bought these, I thought they were Christmas bulbs where I would just pull the top part that you hang it off. They're not. They're actually little light bulbs, string lights. So when I'm done with this, I'll actually have a string of lights left. And I can still, I was worried I wasn't going to be able to get that out, but it still pulls off and looks just like a Christmas bulb. So then what we're going to do is we're going to use some hot glue. And first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that I can get this into this hole. But like I said, I want it to be kind of big and bulky. Okay, there we go. Well, and then that caught on the way out. But that's okay, because we just want that to really catch the glue. So I'm just going to put some glue kind of around the edge. Like that. Oops. And then just stuff our chenille stem right up in there and get that neck right down to the bottom. Now I'm going to look at this and I'm going to decide what's the front and what's the back. This is the back. And I should have checked my bulb before I did it to make sure that I had it where I wanted it. Because sometimes they have a little bad spot on them or something. So this is a nice spot for the front, and this is the front of my angel. So now I'm going to just tip her over and I'm going to put some more hot glue right up in that hole. And I'm doing that on the back so that if any of it comes out, I'm not going to see it. Now this is also the point where if you want your angel kind of looking down or looking up, you could adjust her head to dry that way. I'm going to make mine just look right straight out the front. And I'm going to push and hold that for a little bit and really let it really catch. Hot glue, it does dry fast, but when you use quite a bit of it and it's in something that's not getting any air to it, it really kind of takes a few minutes to grab, and I really want it to grab tight against the mesh. So I'm holding it tight against the mesh, so that's where it dries. If I let go and the little bulb pops up a little bit, then that's where it's going to dry, and it's going to be kind of up the chenille stem a little bit, and it might be a little bit floppy, and I don't want it floppy. So I'm just going to hold it there and let it kind of grab hold and stay where I want it. Okay, so now I'm going to let that go, and so this is what she looks like so far. And then at this point, all you're going to do is you're going to just decide. On this one, I used some of the little blings that we got on the roll from the Dollar Tree and gave her a little scarf of that and a little double crown there. And then on the other one, I used ribbon. And I just put a little V of ribbon there and then made a little bow and put the bow around her neck. It's just nice to have something up there around their neck just to cover up that little bit of the bulb there. But actually, you know, it kind of just looks like a little neck, and it all kind of matches. So if you want to stop at this point, you can stop right there. Or you can go ahead, and I just, for the crowns, what did I do with my scissors? For the crowns, I just used our little silver mesh. And just made sure that I had enough to go all the way around. And we'll do this one with 2. We'll give her a double tall crown. Kind of look at the double ones a little bit like a crown, and the single ones a little bit like a halo. And then I just want to make sure that that's going to, if I attach it right here, is it going to fit on her head? And it looks like it is. So I'm just going to put a couple little dots of hot glue right here. And then just bring this around and set it on top. And just make sure you don't burn yourself. And then I'm just going to, yep, this is my front. I'm going to take the part that I glued and put it towards the back. Make sure that I like that, and I do. So I'm just going to put, this is the back, I'm just going to put a little bit of glue here, right kind of at the bottom of these, on the back. And I'm only doing it on the back because that will hold it on well enough. And I don't want that hot glue to possibly squeeze out in the front. And so long as you don't squish it, it really will, you know, blend in with the silver glitter pretty well. And there we go. So, and then you can just decide if you want to put something there or if you don't. And I have to say that this pink ribbon that I have really clashes with that. So I don't like that. I do have some fibers that we bought. And that kind of goes and has a little bit of gold bling to it. So I could wrap that around her neck like a scarf. And it's kind of nice that they have that little neck on the bulb, because it does really give you kind of a neck place to do something like this. So you just adjust that the way that you want to. Yeah, and I think that does look very kind of pretty. So, but I'm going to adjust it a little better with all the little fibers before I glue it down. But so you can do it like that. You can do nothing at all. You can wrap more chenille stems around the upper portion of the body. And then you can just adjust her wings however you want to adjust them. And then when you're all done, then just go through and any of these long pieces, just snip them off. So any of the little bit of hairs or whatever you want to call them that are sticking out that bother you, just chop them off of there. And there we go. There is our pretty pink angel. And I think she turned out very pretty. And like I said, if this isn't full enough, if I made another one, I might actually try using 10 of these. Because the pink did not poof out quite as much as the white did. But I think that they turned out really cute. And like I said, I just love angels. I think that they just symbolize goodness in this world. So what we're going to need for next week, I have right here. And you will already have part of it. For next week, we are going to need, well, if I can find it. That's the way that it always happens. Well, what we're going to use is we're going to use this inside ring off of our deco mesh. So I've already got one of them from the white one that's here that's empty. And I'm going to make a couple more angels out of this one, and then I'll have this one. So for next week, you're going to need to purchase another roll of deco mesh so that you can get the tube out of the middle. And you'll have the deco mesh to play with, whether you want to make angels or a wreath or whatever. If you don't want to buy the deco mesh, you can use, I would not recommend toilet paper rolls, they're too short. But if you have 4 paper towel rolls, you could probably get by with 2, but you want them to be a little heavy. This is a really nice heavy roll, and that's why, here, let me get I found it. It fell on the floor. Okay. This is the roll that was on the white one. And actually, these 2 rolls are not quite exactly the same. They're even a little bit of a different size, barely, but that's okay. I'm just looking for the heavy roll. So if you do a paper towel roll, maybe if you have 2 of them for each one, you can put one on top of the other and it will just make them heavier because you really do want a heavy type tube for this. So you can either buy another roll of deco mesh so you have 2 tubes, or you can just use paper towel rolls. We will need that. We will need chipboard, like cereal boxes, any type of food boxes. We're going to need our glue, and we are going to need some of our painty papers, or even just plain paper. And that's it. That's what we'll need for next week. So next week, we're going to spend $1. If we spend that $1, if you don't spend that $1, you can buy something else. So next week, we're going to spend $1, and that will put $4 more in our bank. So I will, I hope that you really did like these angels. I love them, and I really do appreciate you stopping by. Thank you very much, and I hope that you all have an outstanding day. Bye-bye.